Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast, where we talk about our favourite movies, TV shows and video games. I'm your host Shravan, and we have our co-host Torrin with us.
Hey everyone.
Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, or specifically Miles Morales in Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. So we actually watched this quite a while ago now, because we watched it at a very early pre-advanced screening, and we were planning to review it quite a while ago, and one of our friends wanted to join us for the review, but he ended up not being able to make it. So we're doing it quite late. And in the meantime, I got very sick, and now Torrin's sick. So we might sound a bit not great in this episode. So just bear with us.
We both hate life.
Yeah, we're not loving it at the moment. But Into the Spider-Verse, I thought it was really good. See you next time.
Review done. See you next week, guys.
No. I actually had a really good time. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I had a good time as well.
So what we'll do spoiler free. So we know this is still pretty early. It hasn't released in a lot of countries yet.
Yeah, we only watched it last week, didn't we?
We watched it 2 weeks ago, and it
was last week, wasn't it?
No, it just came out. It's coming out this week.
Oh shit, we did watch it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we watched it 2 weeks ago, and in a lot of places it's coming out this week. So it's still going to be a pretty early review. But we're going to do spoiler free first, so feel free to keep listening to us, and we will jump to spoilers later on in the episode, and we'll let you know clearly when that is. As usual, I'll give you a bit of background on the movie, how it's doing in the box office. I should get the latest numbers for that, and budget-wise, who's directing, and then we'll jump into the actual review. So in terms of who directed this movie, it was Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman. So Peter Ramsey, the other two I couldn't find what they worked on before, but Peter Ramsey worked on Rise of the Guardians in 2012. I think you've seen that movie.
Yeah, it's not bad. Is that the one with the Easter Bunny and whatever?
Yeah, like Santa Claus, Jack Frost, and it's like a Christmas superhero movie pretty much.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And this movie is produced by Avi Arad, Amy Pascal, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Christina Steinberg. So in all the promotional material, they're really hyping up the Chris Lord and Phil Miller aspect of it. But they did provide the story as well. But
they wrote the script, I think.
Yeah, the script and the story, and they produced it as well. So I think they had a lot of creative control over it. The screenplay is by Phil Lord. And the story is also by Phil Lord.
No Chris Miller. He got left out.
No, he got left out. He was doing solo. And then
they were both doing solo.
Yeah,
they got fired.
Yeah, they got fired. This is based off, as I explained earlier, it's based off the character Miles Morales. And that comic was written by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. And they were consulted during the making of this movie. So it's based off their comic book. Mostly. I think they made some changes, but in terms of the Miles character, it's based off that version of it. So the budget was 90 million. Box office, so it only came out this week, well, a day ago from where we're recording at the moment, but let me have a look what it's doing box office wise. So it delivered an excellent 3.5 million from Thursday previews.
How much?
3.5 million.
Oh, decent.
So they're expecting it to do 40 million opening weekend.
Pretty good for an animated movie.
So I've got some information about the development of this movie. So following the November 2014 hacking of Sony's computers, emails between Sony Pictures Entertainment co-chairman Amy Pascal and President Doug Belgrade were released, stating that Sony was planning to rejuvenate the Spider-Man franchise by developing an animated comedy film with Phil Lord and Chris Miller. It was announced in April 2015 that a Spider-Man animated movie had a release date of July 2018, and it was going to coexist with the live-action Spider-Man movies. Eventually, that release date was moved to December 2018, which is what we got. In June of 2016, the story was being written by Phil Lord, and it was rumored to feature Miles Morales as the central character. Later in January of 2017, it was confirmed that Miles was, in fact, going to be the main character of this film. In December 2017, it was announced that the title was going to be called Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and it would feature multiple Spider-Men from different universes. And then in August of 2018, a post-credit scene was added to the film, so it was quite late in the piece that they decided to actually have a post-credit scene. Phil Lord and Chris Miller wanted it to feel like you walked inside a comic book, and they used 70 years of techniques that were used in comic books, such as speech bubbles and sound bubbles. It took around 1 year to come up with 10 seconds of footage that they were happy with in terms of the visual appeal of the movie, and then that was used as a basis for the animation from that point onwards. They went from 1 animator to 60 animators during production, but it was soon found out that this would not be enough to fulfill the requirements of releasing it by December 2018, so by the end of production they had about 142 animators. This was the largest animation crew ever used for a Sony Pictures animation. So, what was the story synopsis?
You're asking me. I can't remember. What was the story? Let me think. Miles is in this movie. He is a guy. He goes to a private school. Yes, he goes to a private school.
Yeah, well, he used to go to a public school, and I think he recently changed to a private school.
Yeah. But he likes the ghetto. He wants to go back to the ghetto. And his uncle is what's the uncle's name?
His
Harry?
uncle's Aaron?
No, I made that up. Is it Harry?
No, Aaron, I think.
Oh, Aaron. That's it. Yeah, Aaron. Yep. His uncle is like, I don't know. He does.
Apparently, he
does bad stuff, but you don't know what he does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So his
He's
dad's
kind of
brother.
like a gangster. Yeah, his dad's a cop. And he hangs out with his uncle a lot. And when he's hanging out with his uncle, he gets bitten by a spider, kind of like the one that Spider-Man gets bitten by. And then he gets superpowers. And then Spider-Man is trying to stop Kingpin from opening up this portal, and then Miles is there. And Kingpin ends up opening up the portal, and then stuff happens, and lots of Spider-Men get put into the universe. That is a very bad way of describing this story. Do not go off that.
That was a brilliant synopsis, but basically it's about the Spider-Verse. So there's multiple dimensions sort of interacting in this movie. It's shown in the trailers, so we're not spoiling too much. But there are multiple Spider-Men that come into this dimension, and it's all about kind of fixing that issue with the multiple dimensions forming together. But yeah, we'll jump into the review now. So we'll talk about the casting first and the characters. So I've got a bit of background on all the characters. So how old do you think the Miles Morales character is? How long do you think he's been around?
14. Oh no, how old do you think? I thought you meant in the movie.
No. Like how long has the character been around?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he came out in around 2008-ish. 10 years?
No, so I mean, you're not far off. It came out, his first appearance in comics was in August of 2011.
So
in the comic Ultimate Fallout. So he's pretty recent.
Yeah.
He's pretty recent. Yeah. So in terms of in the movie, he's played by Shameik Moore, and he's
Shameik, yep.
And he's half African American and Puerto Rican. So that's his background. Not Shameik Moore.
Put a race
Miles
on it.
Morales.
Jeez, you're so racist. You just want to put a race on everyone.
Yeah.
Are you going to say the rest of them are white?
Yeah. I'm gonna give all of their races now.
Yeah.
So what do you think Miles Morales' notable abilities are in terms of when he's Spider-Man?
What do I think? They showed in the movie.
Yeah.
He could turn invisible.
Yeah. So he's got camouflage.
Yep. And he's got this electric power thing. It's like an electric shock.
Yeah. So they call it bioelectric energy from fingers.
Yeah.
Specifically. It's only from the fingers.
That's a shit name.
And he's also got precognitive spider sense or spider sense.
The spider sense.
And he uses the shooters, so web shooters. He doesn't have the bio web like they show in Spider-Man 1.
That was just a Raimi Spider-Man thing.
So he's the main character, but we also do have a Peter Parker in this movie, played by Jake Johnson.
Love Jake Johnson.
I've got a couple of spoilers about this character, but we'll talk about it then. When do you think this Spider-Man, so Peter Parker Spider-Man, first appeared in comics?
This Jake Johnson's one, or
no, Peter Parker, like Peter Parker Spider-Man. So the original Spider-Man.
I don't know. It would have been around post-World War, so like 1958 or something.
Not far off again. So it was out on August 1962. So his first appearance was in Amazing Fantasy issue number 15. And he was originally conceived by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, which is why they had a tribute to both of them in this movie. And what are Peter Parker's special abilities?
Spider sense.
Yep.
Super strength.
Yeah.
That's it.
So apparently he's also meant to have genius level intellect.
Oh, well, he has that before. He gets bitten.
Yeah.
It's not like a Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, and he's a proficient scientist and inventor.
But that's okay. That's not a super. Yeah,
yeah, it's not something he acquires. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I think he's smarter than Miles Morales. I think that's what they're trying to get at.
Is that a racist comment that you're making?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I guess Miles couldn't help it, right?
Miles does go to a private school, though.
Yeah. Well, Miles is meant to be pretty smart because he got a scholarship and stuff to get into that school.
Yeah.
So we also have Spider-Gwen in this movie, or Spider-Woman. She's played by Haley Steinfeld.
Like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. So she was good in this movie. When do you think Spider-Gwen first appeared in comics?
Okay. This one I'm probably not going to be that close. Definitely before Amazing Spider-Man. I'm going to say early 2000s, maybe. I'm just going to go 2000.
No. So, first debuted in 2014 in Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 2.
2014?
Yep.
Are you sure?
So, apparently the character was based off Emma Stone.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they took some of the aspects of Emma Stone's character.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Gwen Stacy debuted way before that.
Yeah, Gwen Stacy was in the comics when Peter Parker first debuted. But in terms of Spider-Gwen, it was first introduced in 2014.
Did not know that. Yeah.
So she's also known as Spider-Woman, White Widow. And so there is a...
Jeez, racist name once again. White Widow. What did they go? What did they try to say there?
Well, they got Black Widow, so the White Widow.
Yeah. Contentious.
So they do have an arc with Gwen Stacy where she also gets the Venom symbiote. What do you think that version of the character is called?
Gwen Venom or something?
Yeah, Gwenum.
Gwenum, yeah. It took me a while to kind of figure out how they would have put that together, but yeah.
So what do you think Spider-Gwen's special abilities are that are different from Spider-Man, like the normal Spider-Man special abilities?
Like a gymnast or something. Well, you're going to say that's her superpower. She's like gymnastics, or she can do crazy gymnast stuff.
No. So, well, maybe she can, but apparently her special abilities are use of interdimensional travel, and she also has a healing factor, kind of like Wolverine, but probably not as exaggerated.
Oh, see, with Peter Parker, you said all that other shit that he had beforehand, and with Gwen, you're not giving me the shit that she has beforehand.
Well, beforehand, I think she was just normal. She was just a normal person.
She was a gymnast.
Was she?
Or a dancer. Either one of those. Gymnast or dancer.
Well, if Peter Parker practiced enough, he could have been a gymnast.
Not like Gwen, though.
Yeah, now you're being sexist. Okay. So we also have a couple more Spider-Verse characters. So those three are sort of the main characters in this movie, but we also have Spider-Ham, played by John Mulaney. When do you think Spider-Ham's first appearance in comics was?
It would have been in the Spider-Verse comic, which I think was around the same time Spider-Gwen came out. So I'm going to say 2014.
No. So this actually surprised me as well. So he first appeared in Marvel Tales, starring Peter Porker, The Spectacular Spider-Ham, issue number 1. So he had his own comic in 1983, November 1983.
Geez. This is when the Marvel Comics was really stretching.
Yeah, so he had his own thing. He wasn't even in a Spider-Verse sort of situation. What do you think his special abilities are?
He can, like, conjure up things, can't he?
Well, yeah, he's basically a cartoon, so he can do whatever he wants. But the only main thing that I have here, which makes him different to the other Spider-Man that we've talked about so far, is he has organic webbing.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Penny Parker, who's played by Kimiko Glenn, and she's a Japanese-American middle school student who is adopted by Aunt May and Uncle Ben. She pilots a robot known as SPDR, which is partially controlled by a radioactive spider that shares a psychic link with its pilot. And she was first introduced in the Spiderverse event between November 2014 and February 2015. So same as the comic book arc that featured Spider-Gwen. And then we move on to Spider-Man Noir. So we have actually talked about this character previously on this podcast, and mainly due to the reason that it's played by the one and only Nicolas Cage. So somehow we end up talking about Nicolas Cage quite a lot in this podcast, almost in every single episode. And to date, we've done about 22 episodes, I think. Or this is our 23rd, and we haven't actually reviewed a movie that features the man himself, but this is the first one that actually features Nicolas Cage. So, and he was really great in this movie. He was very entertaining, and what I noticed was that he has a very unique voice. You can tell that it is Nicolas Cage when you hear him.
It's like he's kind of sleepy.
Yeah.
He always sounds sleepy.
In terms of when this character, Spider-Man Noir, was introduced, he was first introduced in Spider-Man Noir issue number 1, so he had his own comic, in February 2009. And he's basically just a darker version of Spider-Man set in 1933 during the Great Depression. So what do you think his special abilities are?
Is he a detective? He can detect stuff.
Sort of. So he's a skilled marksman, an expert in hand-to-hand combat, and he has a network of contacts throughout the city in the criminal world. So he's kind of like
He's Batman.
He's pretty much Batman. And the other thing is he has organic webbing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they have to have organic webbing because he's 19 whatever. So you can't exactly make his web shooters. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a bunch of other characters in this movie, apart from the Spider-Man. So there's Kingpin, like we mentioned before. He's played by Liev Schreiber. And there's Miles Morales' father, whose name is Jefferson Davis, which I always found a bit confusing. So he takes his mother's name. He's played by Brian Tyree Harry. And there's Rio Morales, who's Miles Morales' mother. And there's Aaron Davis, who's played by Mahershala Ali. And there's also Aunt May in this movie. She's played by Lily Tomkin. And there's a bunch of other characters, but if we get into that, it'll be kind of spoiler territory, so we'll talk about them in spoilers. So we'll jump onto the positives and negatives. We'll start with your positives.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like the comic style art that they do. The story was good. It was funny. It's not really a lot to hate about it. Everything that they did was good. Characters are good, especially Peter Parker and Miles. Yeah, they're quite good. So, yeah, I think basically everything in this movie is a positive. There's nothing much that is a negative at all.
Yeah, I agree. So I like the visual style a lot of this movie. It's basically like you're watching a comic book. So there's this scene where Miles gets his powers and he's walking through the corridor and you just see these yellow boxes. So they use, I think in comics, they use the yellow boxes as what a character is thinking, not saying. So you just see these yellow boxes everywhere, like Miles's thoughts. And I thought that was really cool. And then there'd be parts where like a character would punch someone and you just see like a bubble with like bang. And just stuff like that. So it felt like you were actually watching a comic book in real life, like just coming to life on the screen. And that was really good. And that's something they can only do in an animated version of a superhero movie. It wouldn't look good in a live action movie.
Yeah.
So they really made good use, because we've had so many live action superhero movies now. So they had to differentiate themselves from a live action movie in some way.
Have they had any animated superhero movies before? Yeah, they have. But like nothing on the scale of this.
So they've had like the Batman fan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And they've had like all these smaller ones that are like direct to DVD release.
Yeah.
But this is
the first
theatrical.
I think Mask of Phantasm was released theatrically, but I guess this is like the biggest production for an animated superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they made full use of the animated aspect of it. So they really made it look fantastic. It was great. As you mentioned, the characters are all really good. It actually has a lot of depth as well, in terms of there's a clear character arc for Miles. There's even a character arc for Peter Parker as well, because he's kind of this older version of Spider-Man and he's kind of had enough of it a little bit. He doesn't really care that much anymore. Also, I wanted to mention the music. So we've been having a conversation on group chats about the music for this movie. So it has a really good soundtrack. I think it sounds better when you watch the movie. And even the background score was really good as well. So they did really well with that. And overall, I think the tone of the movie was just good. I thought, from the trailers, I thought it would be more of a comedy. There'd be a lot more comedy. There is comedy in the movie, but I think it's got much more depth than I thought it would be. So it does have its quite serious moments. So I would say it's more of a action character development sort of movie than a comedy. Like, comedy's part of it, but it
is funny.
Yeah, it is funny, but I wouldn't say it's a comedy overall. The only negative I had was that it is a little slow to get started, but that's probably because my expectations were that it would be
like the Lego movie, which gets straight into it.
Yeah, well, no,
you haven't even seen it though.
My expectations were that it would be more of the Spiderverse and less of Miles. But it's basically primarily a Miles Morales story with the Spider-Verse aspect in it.
Gets into the Spider-Verse.
It does, but it gets into it quite a bit into the story. It's at least half an hour into the movie once you find out that there was this interdimensional thing happening.
But it leaks other info. Like, Gwen is in it much before.
Earlier, yeah.
You see Jake Johnson a lot earlier.
You do, yeah. But I think a lot of it is just mainly the origin story of Miles and then Spider-Verse in the backdrop. Did you have anything else to say, spoiler free? Because then we can give our ratings and then we can jump into spoilers.
Nah, nothing else. 24.5.
That's your rating?
Yeah.
Jump straight into it. I thought you were going to change your rating system. Like, remember?
Oh, yeah, I was. Yeah. I haven't thought about one for this. You give your rating and I'll try and think of something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it a definitely worth watching in the cinema for this one, mainly because of the visual flair of the movie and the characters, and it's just overall, it's one of the best superhero movies of the year. I think it's up there. Like, it's up there with Infinity War, Black Panther, all of those. So definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of Spider-Man. I think you'll have a good time.
I've tried to think of something, but I can't. So let's continue with the review.
So
and we'll come
I'm
back
going to give
this.
you a B for better luck next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a B for better luck next time. But yeah, we'll continue the review and I'll come up with something.
So before we jump into, I don't know if you want to do this now or at the end. Before we jump, I thought we should give a ranking of all the Spider-Man movies.
This is contentious because I know a lot of people like the Raimi Spider-Man movies, but I hate them. I don't hate them, but I don't think they're that good.
Okay, maybe we'll save that for the end. So, unless we can do it now. We'll do it now because some people might not have seen the movie.
You go first.
So my rankings are...
Are you going from top to bottom or bottom to top?
I'll go bottom to top. So my worst is Amazing Spider-Man 2. And so that's number 7. Number 6 is Amazing Spider-Man 1. I actually don't like those Amazing Spider-Man movies at all. Number 5 is Spider-Man 3. Number 4 is Spider-Man 1. So Raimi Spider-Man 1. And number 3 is Raimi Spider-Man 2. Number 2 is Spider-Man... this movie, so Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and number 1 is Homecoming. So I think it's up there. I actually really enjoyed this movie, so I liked it better than the Raimi ones. But this one, there is parts in this that give a nod to the Raimi ones as well. So it's kind of it's this weird universe where it could be the same universe as the Raimi universe. But yeah,
I think it's I'm probably the same ranking as you. So yeah, pretty much the same.
So the Amazing Spider-Man's at the end, the Raimi's in the middle,
yeah,
Spider-Verse, and then Homecoming. Yeah, we'll probably have people that disagree with us. I think a lot of people still put Spider-Man 2 as the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
They do, yes. I don't like it all that much, to be honest. It's okay. It's not great.
I guess we'll jump into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, please come back to this point in the episode and listen to what we think about the spoilers of this movie. And if you have seen the movie, just keep listening on. So the movie starts with basically Miles, doesn't it? I'm trying to think how it starts now. No, it starts with Spider-Man. It starts with Peter Parker.
Yeah, do you know how it has that comic book introduction for each of the Spider-Man?
Yeah, so every time a new character is introduced in this, they kind of have this mini origin story. Yeah. Of every character, including Miles. Even though you're watching Miles' origin story, he has this like mini montage of his origin as well. So it starts with Peter Parker's origin, and I think this is referring to the Jake Johnson Peter Parker.
No, it's the Chris Pine Peter Parker.
Yeah, so there's 2 Peter Parkers in this universe. So there's there's a Peter Parker in Miles Morales' universe, and he is Spider-Man. And he actually dies quite early on in the movie. He gets killed by Kingpin. And then Miles assumes the mantle of Spider-Man for this city. But that version of Spider-Man, who's blonde, is Chris Pine. Is played by Chris Pine. So you reckon that was
It was.
Was that Chris Pine talking?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, and it also... Jake Johnson's Spider-Man has a different origin later in the movie. He has a different comic book that comes up.
Oh yeah, that's right, he does, yeah, because he's like further down the line, although this version was like 26 years old, right? The Chris Pine version.
They're about the same age-wise, Jake Johnson and Chris Pine version.
No, I think the Jake Johnson one's probably like in his 30s maybe.
Yeah, or just like a deadbeat 26.
Yeah. Yeah, so it starts off with a mini origin of that, and then we kind of get a bit of backstory on Miles, how he's moving schools and he doesn't particularly like his private school. That it's like a boarding school as well. It's in the same city though, so I'm wondering why he has to actually stay there.
Yeah, he could just stay at home.
Yeah, he's not having a good time. He's trying to basically get himself expelled by like failing everything. Like he gets 0 out of 100 for a test, and the teacher is like, even if you guessed randomly, you would have still got 25% right because those are your odds. And he gets everything wrong, so he must actually know that what the correct answer for every question is.
Or he could have just been really unlucky. You know, if you guess everything, unless you're putting C for everything or like a D for everything, but if you guess randomly each time, there's a chance that you could get 0 out of 100.
There is.
There's a very
slim. Yeah. You got to be pretty unlucky.
You got to be pretty unlucky. But there's a slim chance you could get 0 out of 100. Maybe he's just that dumb. That's the thing that they're not telling you.
It's actually a social
stupid
commentary.
Yeah.
Then he runs into Gwen Stacy, or she calls herself Gwenda at that stage, because she's not from this dimension.
How'd she get the uniform?
Yeah, it's a good question.
How'd she get into the school? And how did she go into the class and like no one's realized?
Yeah, yeah. Questions got to be asked here.
Yeah.
And where does she sleep? Because it's a boarding school.
Yeah, there's lots of questions.
And like she explains it later, but she's like, her spider sense told her that she had to go to the school. So I didn't know spider sense worked like that. I thought it just tells you when there's danger approaching or something.
I wonder if there's a Gwen Stacy in this universe.
She'd be older, right? Well,
yeah, she would. Yeah.
Or maybe she's dead.
Yeah. Look, all the good people die.
Miles gets bitten by a spider when he goes out to do some graffiti with his uncle. They never really explain where that spider comes from. It's kind of just lurking around, and
it's lurking.
Yeah, Miles basically, he has a similar reaction to it that Peter Parker has. Like, he starts sweating and he starts sticking to everything.
Yeah, yeah. And is there a part when he's like, I'm going through changes or something?
Yeah, it's like puberty.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just puberty.
It's just puberty. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, he basically gets his powers, but he can't really control them, and he realizes that he kind of has Spider-Man powers because, firstly, he goes back to find the spider that bit him, but he also finds this lair of Kingpin, and he's doing some interdimensional stuff, and Spider-Man happens to be there fighting Green Goblin, and the Green Goblin...
And Green Goblin's fucked in this.
He's like massive.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
he's huge.
He's very big. But basically, Green Goblin's fighting Spider-Man, the Spider-Man of this dimension, and there's this interdimensional thing happening, and Spider-Man of this universe ends up dying in that confrontation, and Miles sees it, and before the Peter Parker of this universe or this dimension dies, he gives Miles a USB key, which is the key to kind of reversing the events of this interdimensional travel. And Miles kind of just runs away with it, and he's trying to use his powers because he doesn't know how to use powers yet.
Yes.
And he fails like quite a few times.
Yes.
Yeah. There's this montage of him, like, it's meant to be like when he discovers his powers and is like walking up to the top floor of these buildings and like going to jump off, and he just doesn't do it.
Yeah, he just walks down the stairs and goes to a different building.
Yeah, he goes to a smaller one, and he does try to jump off, and he like fails.
He trips over.
He fails multiple times, and he does get himself a Spider-Man suit, but it's kind of like this Spider-Man merchandise. So in this dimension, Spider-Man's really popular, and he has his own merchandise, and like he has his own comics as well that talk about Spider-Man. So they did this in another movie too, where there was comics of them. Was that Logan? Where there was like X-Men comics with
X-Men. Yeah, it's an X-Men movie. Yeah.
And then there is a Stanley cameo. So they have this scene with which is basically Peter Parker's funeral, and everyone finds out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, and Mary Jane has this. Mary Jane's in this movie, so she has a speech, and she's played by Zoe Kravitz as well.
Zoe Kravitz,
yeah.
And we went through her history in the Fantastic Beasts episode. If you want to,
her personal life,
go back and find out what's happening in her personal life. Yeah,
yeah. But she plays a small role in this movie. They really went all out with the voice actors, though. They've got
a few good ones. They have a few shit ones as well. No, I'm joking. They're all good. They're all good.
There was also a cameo in that scene where, you know, she's like, "Oh, anyone can be Spider-Man," and then Miles is like, "Yeah, I can be Spider-Man," and then the guy next to him is like, "Oh, I don't think she meant you specifically."
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently that guy was Post Malone.
Oh, Post. Yeah. I know who Post is. Well, everyone knows who Post is. So it's not.
He also has like a song in this movie as well.
Yeah.
In the soundtrack.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I think he has a couple in the soundtrack, actually. But yeah, I really like the soundtrack for this movie. Have you heard all the songs?
I think I've only heard Sunflower. I haven't heard all of them.
Yeah. There's another song called Not Scared of the Dark or something. Or Scared of the Dark, which is pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
It's in that funeral scene. They play it in that funeral scene.
Okay. I haven't listened to it. I'll have to get onto it.
And there's another song called What's Up Danger, which is, it's a bit intense, but it's still pretty good. It's like one of those intense rap songs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Didn't know that was your style.
I didn't know either. Maybe I'm converting.
Yeah, okay.
But basically, after that, he decides to become Spider-Man for this dimension, but he keeps failing, so he goes to the cemetery where Peter Parker is buried, and then he runs into Jack Johnson, Peter Parker. And if you watch Venom, that was the post-credit scene for Venom.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That, 5-minute scene.
And then Peter Parker kind of starts to show Miles the ropes and how they should get out of this interdimensional issue that they have. And there's a couple of things that happen after that. So there is a Doc Ock in this universe, but it's a lady in this one.
Yeah, it's his daughter.
Whose daughter?
Dr. Octavius.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it?
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I thought she was just Doc Ock because she's like Olivia Octavius or something.
I'm pretty sure it's his daughter.
Oh.
I think she mentions it.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. I thought she was just like in this dimension. Doc Ock is just a lady, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I could have made it up, but I thought she was his daughter.
Yeah, so they have this scene where they have to like get this computer from the facility that Doc Ock operates at, and it's all owned by Kingpin. And we also get like this very short scene. It's this very short scene showing why Kingpin is doing what he's doing. It's like literally like 2 minutes, and that's the backstory for the sort of the intentions of what Kingpin is doing in this movie with the interdimensional stuff. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but he's like about to punch Spider-Man or something, and his wife and kids see it, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they run away, and then they die in a car crash or something. Is that what happened?
Yeah, or get hit by a train or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like he's living with that guilt, so he wants to bring them from another dimension into this dimension. Is that what he's doing?
Yes, that's what he's doing. Yeah. He's trying to get the ones in this dimension are dead. Unsure why they died. But he's trying to get them from another dimension so that he can live with them, basically.
But yeah, so he recruited Dr. Octavius to help with that. And all the information that they need is stored on this CPU. And Peter Parker and Miles go to this facility to steal it, and and that's when it's revealed that she's Doc Ock. But they do end up getting it. But there's some comedy in that scene where you know how Miles takes the monitor and the CPU. Yeah, it's like, I've got good news for you. We don't need the monitor. But yeah, they do escape, and that's when they run into Gwen as well. That part was shown in one of the trailers. You know how it's like, how many spider people are there?
It's like, yeah, just go to Comic-Con.
Yeah. I thought that was made just for trailers, but it's actually, that dialogue is actually in the movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make sense.
It makes a little bit of sense. He's just saying, like, when you go to Comic-Con, there's a lot of people dress up
as Spider-Man. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go to Aunt May's place. And Aunt May in this dimension's like really... She's not the typical Aunt May.
She's like a badass.
Yeah.
She's like Alfred.
And she knew... Yeah, she's basically Alfred. Because she knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man as well. And he has this like ultra high-tech lair under his house where he keeps all his suits and stuff. And they end up going down there, and they meet the other spider people that were also transported to this dimension. So we meet...
And then they all have those comic book origins.
Yeah, we get like a mini comic book origin for all of them. The funniest is probably... they're all pretty funny, but Spider-Man Noir was pretty funny.
Yeah, they kind of do all three of them together.
Yeah.
Do you remember? mix them all together, like goes in and out of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But Spider-Man Noir was pretty funny.
And there's like always wind behind him because like his coat's always like flapping.
His coat's always like, yep. And he's always in black and white.
Yeah, he's always in black and white. And he like doesn't know what color means because there's this joke where he gets a Rubik's Cube and he doesn't get what it is because he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a concept of color in his dimension. But basically they realize they all have to team up.
But then they're like, Miles is shit. Let's not use Miles.
Yeah, let's not use because he doesn't know anything. And they firstly they kind of trust him to do it, but they soon figure out that he's probably not ready. All these villains just end up turning up at Aunt May's house, right?
Yes.
Including the Prowler, who you end up finding out is Miles Morales' uncle. But I already knew that because that's his comic book origin.
Yeah. I guess for people who didn't know, it would have been surprising.
Yeah, it might have been surprising. So the Prowler he's actually in the MCU as well. So he's played by
D. Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover, Charles Gambino in Homecoming. So that character has already been introduced in Homecoming. And there's actually a scene where you're in Aaron Davis's apartment in this movie, and there's a picture of Donald Glover in his apartment. It's kind of this weird universe where Donald Glover's there as well.
Yeah, Donald Glover is also in the universe.
Yeah. And the other thing that a lot of people don't know about is that Miles's character was actually based off Donald Glover.
Yeah, there was this period, like when D. Glover was a bit younger, where everyone wanted him to play Miles Morales.
Yeah,
and
so
the
original comics were actually based off Donald Glover as well. Like they had aspects of Donald Glover.
Yeah. I think this was around the time of, when was it? It would have been either when they were shooting Amazing Spider-Man or just afterwards. I think it was when they were shooting Amazing Spider-Man, and they wanted Miles Morales to be one of the characters in the movie as well. And everyone was like, they should get Donald Glover to kind of be that character. But then now he's too old.
Yeah, now it's
to
probably
play
too
it.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when they cast him in Homecoming, everyone thought that it still might be Miles. Like, they'll just change the origin somehow, but yeah, obviously he's the Prowler instead. Sony fucked it up.
Yeah. He still exists in the universe because nothing happened to him in Homecoming. He was just kind of in it.
Yeah, he's still in there. Yep. But it would have been good to see him play Miles in live action, which probably isn't going to happen now.
But anyway, after that, we get a scene where all the Spider people tell Miles that he sucks, and they like lock him up in his room.
Yeah, they tie him up. They gag him.
Yeah.
And then they torture him.
They cut that part out. It's in the extended.
Yeah.
It's in the extended cut. It's in the Snyder cut.
Yeah, the Snyder cut, the R-rated version.
Yeah. But Miles gets his powers eventually. Like the death of his uncle kind of motivates him, I guess. Spoilers. His uncle dies because Kingpin kills him.
His uncle dies.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone shoots him. Who shoots
Kingpin.
him? Kingpin shoots him. That's right. Because Kingpin's a bad bloke.
Yeah, he's just a bad guy.
He's just a bad bloke.
Does he have superpowers, or is he just like a really big guy?
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. I think he has super strength. Actually, I think he's just a big dude. Like a really big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty strong.
Like, he's massive.
Because he can take on Spider-Man, so he's pretty strong.
I think, technically he doesn't have super strength, but because he's so big, he is super strong.
But he doesn't, hit the gym or anything. I think he's just big.
In Daredevil, he hits the gym.
Oh, does he? Okay, maybe he does hit the gym.
Yeah, I think he does hit the gym. He benches. He's all about the chest. He wants to be a barrel-chested bloke. Well, doesn't do anything else, just chest.
He's definitely got the barrel chest, though.
He's got the barrel chest. He doesn't have a neck, though. You might want to look into that.
But, yeah, so Miles realized that he does have powers, and then he goes and helps them out in the big climax, and there's this massive sort of fight
crazy
at the
shit
end.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, massive stuff happens, and all the spider people are there. You see kind of all their powers at the same time, and they all get transported back to their dimension at the end.
Yes.
And everyone's happy, and
except for Jake Johnson. He really doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, he didn't want to go back because he was having issues with his life or something.
His life sucks. He buried Aunt May. Aunt May's dead. And then he divorces Mary Jane. And yeah, he doesn't want to go back because he wants to kill himself, basically. It's pretty dark. He wants to sacrifice himself so that he can die.
Because if you're from another dimension, you can't last that long in this dimension or something.
Yeah, you can't survive.
You can't survive, which is kind of a big flaw in Kingpin's plan.
Yeah, so he's going to bring them back, but then they're going to die.
They're going to die anyway.
Have to bring another one back.
So he's just going to keep doing that.
It's going to be like The Prestige, where he has to keep making new versions of them, and then they'll die every day. For those of you that haven't seen The Prestige, that's a spoiler. Have you seen The Prestige?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what Hugh Jackman's doing, right?
Well, he keeps making new versions of himself and then killing himself every night.
Whereas Christian Bale, he just had a twin brother.
He has a twin, yeah. Anyway, this is not a Prestige review. Although that's a good movie. We should do a Prestige review.
Yeah, maybe we should. So basically get to the end of the movie then. Miles saves the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake Johnson goes back.
Jake Johnson goes back.
Because Miles gives him the courage to go back.
Yeah. Everyone else goes.
His character's actually really deep in this. We didn't touch on it too much, but yeah, Jake Johnson's character's quite deep.
It is quite deep, yeah.
He's the second best character.
After Miles?
Yeah. Oh, no, actually, I reckon he's the best character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the best, yeah. And Miles basically becomes the Spider-Man of this dimension.
Yeah, he does.
And he gets his own suit. I think Aunt May gives it to him. The black suit.
It's one of the older suits. He just spray paints it because he's
black.
He's a rebel without a cause.
But I want to mention he's always wearing these shoes in this movie.
Yeah,
and they show a lot of shots of his shoes. So they must have
it's like Air Maxes.
Yeah, like Nikes. So it's like sponsorship just there.
He even wears them when he's Spider-Man.
He does, yeah. He actually wears them.
And he wears a hoodie as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get cold, It's New York, it's winter, It's going to be cold out there. You can't just wear.
Yeah, Peter Parker didn't think of any of this stuff.
It's about health as well.
So you get to the end of the movie and he's just lying down on his bed, and do you hear Gwen?
I can't remember actually.
Because I think you hear Gwen, and that explains her interdimensional travel ability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
true. Apparently in the sequel, they're going to concentrate on a Gwen and Miles romantic relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm guessing she comes back?
Maybe. I didn't really see that, though, because she's older than him, isn't she?
Thought they were the same age.
Oh, okay. I thought she said she's older in one of the scenes.
Like 2 months or something. 15 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not too much older.
Yeah, I think they're going to do spin-offs of all the characters.
Yeah. Except maybe Jake Johnson's one.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because that would be sad.
I would like to see the Spider-Man Noir full-length film.
Yeah, I don't think they could do that, but that would be fun. I think his character's best dealt with as a side character. It's more fun that way.
But yeah, that's the end of the movie. Oh, and there is a post-credit scene.
Post-credits, Oscar Isaacs.
So Oscar Isaac is Spider-Man.
Is it Isaac or Isaacs?
Isaac, yeah.
Isaac, yeah.
Yeah. So he's Spider-Man 2099?
99.
So maybe he'll be in the next movie then.
I think he is, yeah. That was pretty funny though. It's that meme that everyone... You've seen the meme, haven't you?
Which one?
You're old, but you've seen this meme, haven't you?
Maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm too old. What is it?
The one with the Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man.
Oh, you mean the right at the end?
Yeah. It's like a meme. It's from the cartoon, but it became a big meme maybe a year ago, or maybe longer. I don't know. I'm old as well. But yeah, it's the two Spider-Man pointing at each other. It's from the cartoon.
I didn't I thought it was funny, but I didn't fully get it. I was like, why they...
It's a meme.
Yeah.
It's a meme. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to know the meme to get it.
But basically, the Spider-Man 2099 goes back into the 60s Spider-Man, and they just point at each other for like 2 minutes.
Then, the guy's like, why are you pointing at me? It's like, you point at me first. And then they point at each other for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And who's on the side? Someone's on the side.
It's just like policemen or something.
Oh, yeah, the policeman. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. Maybe they should do a full-length 1963 Spider-Man.
That would be funny. They should like get all of them together. There should be a Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. There should be a Tom Holland one, and then a Tobey Maguire one. The Japanese TV show one.
Yeah.
Get them all together.
Yeah, is there anything else we want to say about this movie? So sequel is probably going to happen?
Yeah, I think definitely going to happen.
Well, this is probably the best Spider-Man movie that Sony's ever made, so... Well, that's in our opinion.
Well, contention, yeah.
In our opinion. But yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
So I was saying it was probably the second best superhero movie of this year. But you don't think so?
There was Black Panther.
Yeah, I liked it better than Black Panther, personally, but that might be because I just like Spider-Man.
What other superhero movies came out this year?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's probably better than that.
Yeah, obviously Infinity War. I think Infinity War is still better than this. Was there only Marvel movies this year in terms of superheroes?
Well, Aquaman's coming out.
Yeah, I heard it's okay. Well, I'm hearing mixed things about Aquaman.
I think it's okay. I think it's meant to be decent.
Yeah, I think that's all we had about Spider-Verse. So we highly recommend that you watch it.
Yes.
Yes.
I give it an A for amazing.
Oh, you got there.
Spider-Man.
I
got there. It's not that good. It wasn't my best one. There could be better ones in the future.
Yeah. Well, Amazing Spider-Man has all these negative connotations now, so you can't really say Amazing and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was going to give it an S for spectacular, but, I think A
what about you for better. Ultimate?
Nah, it's not that good.
Okay. So there were a lot of trailers that came out this week, so we should probably talk about them. We'll quickly mention the Captain Marvel one. I thought it was pretty good, but it showed the same stuff as the first.
Same stuff as the previous one.
Yeah, first trailer. Still looks good.
Looks good. Blockbuster.
Still looking forward to it. So, I don't know. What else is there to say?
90s.
I think Jude Law's bad, right?
Jude Law. Korath.
Who's Korath?
I'm just naming things from the trailer.
Well, Korath's that guy that was in Guardians, right?
Digimon Huso.
Yeah.
That's the official pronunciation of his name. I definitely didn't butcher that.
But the trailer that we probably really want to talk about is the Avengers 4, or what is now known as Avengers Endgame.
Oh, trailer. I didn't watch this trailer.
Oh.
I'm joking. I definitely watched it.
I think I've watched it once every day since it's come out. So
yeah, I've seen it many times.
Yeah. I didn't think it was like an amazing trailer.
It didn't really show that much.
Yeah, like it was a good trailer. I don't think it wasn't like the Avengers Infinity War first trailer. That was like, do you remember that one? The one with
yeah, I do. Yeah.
I didn't think it was as good as that one, but it was still a good trailer.
The sex scene from Tony Stark in Captain America.
Which version were you watching?
That's a trailer that I watched.
They just cut that out of the movie.
Yeah, look, it was in my personal version.
It's in the Snyder cut.
Yes, exactly. The R-rated version. Yeah, I thought it was... Like, look, everyone's going to go watch this movie anyway. They don't really need to have a trailer.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even need to show us a trailer. They didn't even need to show us the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Everyone would have still went to watch it, so, yeah.
Captain America's in it a bit, which shows that Captain America might be a major part in this movie, because he wasn't really in Infinity War.
Hints to the sex scene between Captain America and Tony Stark as well.
How?
If you look closely, there's hints.
Okay.
You got to look closely.
Real close, okay. But yeah, Tony's probably going to die. Anyway, I
think he'll get saved. I think he'll get saved.
Yeah, well, I think he'll get saved too, either by Captain Marvel or Thor.
Initially, I thought that Nebula ditched Tony and just left.
But she's there.
But I watched the trailer again, and she's in the same ship.
She's there,
in it. Yeah, she's in it. Yeah.
And Thor's like all depressed. Captain America's trying to...
Should have gone for the head, you fuck.
He's really regretting his life decisions.
Captain America told him to write lines. It's just on the board. He's writing, should have gone for the head, like 100 times every day.
And you finally see Hawkeye and what he's been up to. He's in Japan.
Hawkeye. He's in Japan watching anime. After his family died, he got really into it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, Cowboy Bebop. Got to get on that.
And he gets a haircut. And walks around in the rain every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants to get a cold, but his immune system's too good, so he's trying really hard. There looks like there's a time jump between that and the start, though, because Black Widow's hair's longer.
Yes. So it's slightly longer. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought we'll actually, before Avengers Endgame comes out, I thought we should do an episode where we basically outline the whole story and what we think is going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's going to end badly, isn't it?
We're probably both going to be, very wrong. But...
Way wrong. Look, way wrong. I can't imagine a scenario where I get what's going to happen right.
But anyway, we'll do that, because I've got a theory on how things will pan out in the movie, and I think you do too, and I don't think mine's the same as yours. My
one is a poker game, and then a poker game between the Avengers and Thanos.
A game of chess, right?
Sorry?
A game of chess?
No, it's poker.
Oh,
it's poker.
Okay, yeah.
It's poker.
It's in Las Vegas.
It's in Las Vegas, yeah. And, on the last hand, it's like Casino Royale. On the last hand, Thanos puts his Infinity Gauntlet in, and then Captain America puts Ant-Man in. He puts Paul Rudd on the table.
Not small Paul Rudd, like a big one?
No, big Paul Rudd. Big Paul Rudd
Giant
on the
Man?
table. Yeah, as Giant Man. And then they, you have to wait to see the movie. But look, anything could happen from there.
Well, the table obviously falls apart.
No, it's a big table. Tony Stark made the table, which is half the movie. He's like, oh shit, got to make a table
big enough to fit Giant Man.
Yeah, it's got to be sturdy enough. It's like a montage. He makes the table and he tells Ant-Man to stand on it, get big, and it breaks, and he gets pissed off. So throws his glass of scotch at the window, breaks it. And then he cries a little bit. It's quite emotional actually. Yeah.
Okay. Is that your story?
Well, yeah. I'll go to more depth in
when we do the episode.
In our episode for it. Yeah. But yeah. It's in and around that.
I looked at what the definition of endgame was. So endgame, a stage of the game in chess when few pieces are left on the board and often sacrifices are made in order to win.
Yeah. I feel like they should sacrifice Paul Rudd. Not Ant-Man, just Paul Rudd.
Person Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah. He's definitely not needed. He's not necessary.
Well, speaking of Paul Rudd, he turns up at the end of the trailer. Yeah. And there's all these fan theories about apparently the date on that.
No, it's not.
It's wrong. Yeah.
It's not a date. Yeah. It says 1503.
Yeah,
he didn't show up. They didn't have cameras in 1503. How the hell did they get the footage?
This is some wacky time travel that's going on.
Yeah.
And maybe interdimensional travel or something where in that universe it's 1503. But I don't think it's that.
Well, the building wouldn't have existed in 1503. Yeah. The other theory, people said it's 1903, but still, same scenario. There's no cameras in 1903.
Yeah. No, I think he's actually there, right at that time. And somehow he gets out of the quantum realm, obviously. Maybe he just presses a button and he's just gets out.
Maybe he does. Maybe Thanos gets him out to sacrifice him. The end game.
Yeah. So we don't see any of the vanished Avengers, obviously, in this trailer. I don't think we'll see them in any
They're
trailer.
dead, that's why. They're never coming back. Do you know all these rumors about the sequels? It's all lies.
It's all wrong.
They're all dead.
Well, apparently the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer was meant to also come out last week.
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home, not a real movie. They're just acting like it's a movie. It's never going to come out. It's all a farce.
Yeah, they're just doing promotion for a movie that doesn't exist.
It's a movie that's never going to come out and doesn't exist.
So I think we'll get a trailer for that soon as well. Maybe this week.
Yeah, they're going to make a trailer, but there's not going to be a movie. Would you be pissed off if that happened? Or would you be like, that's actually like so good?
Actually, I don't think I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, I can't believe they made us believe that there was this movie for like 3 years.
Yeah, I think I would actually be impressed. I would be like, geez.
No, I reckon I'd be even more impressed if they do have all these trailers and stuff, but when you go to the movie, it's actually like, it's not even a movie.
It's just a picture of dust. It's just a 2-hour long picture of dust, like flowing through. It's not a picture; it's a movie. So it's like dust flowing through the air.
Yeah, it's like those. Remember those old screensavers where there'd be like these particles and they just like flow around your screen.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
It's just that.
Yeah. I would not be pissed off. I would be impressed. I would pay money to see it.
Yep. I'd be very impressed if they did that. I'm just looking forward to. I thought they'd do this with Avengers Endgame, but like they actually don't have a trailer for a movie.
Yeah,
and they don't tell you what the title is until you actually go to the movie.
Yeah, I guess
they could have almost
it's
got
tough
away with
because they
it.
want to appeal to as wide of an audience as they can.
Yeah,
and the way to appeal to an audience is to do promotional stuff. If you don't do any marketing for a film, you're not going to have as much of an opening as if you do marketing for it. And they want to get as much as they can out of it. So I understand why they have to market.
Well, there's people like you and me who don't need any sort of trailers to watch the movie. And
yeah, but there is people out there that need the trailer.
Yeah, and there's other people that the casual viewers.
Yeah,
so they
like my 90-year-old neighbor. He needs a trailer, otherwise he's not going to go watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So and you only get the big box office based on the casual viewers, not the fans. So
yeah.
You'll get the big openings because of the fans, but the overall box office will be
from the casuals as well.
Yeah. So a lot of casuals would have watched Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of fans watched it as well.
But yeah, that's coming out next year. Endgame.
What else was in the trailer? Did we miss anything? Beard? No beard.
No beard, yeah. He's got the sideburns.
You like him better with or without?
I like him with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like him with. I think, but I used to like him without. I don't know. He just looks different now.
I think once you go beard, you can't go back.
He just looks. I don't know. I think it's the sideburns. The sideburns. You need to get rid of the sideburns.
Longer, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. If you get rid of the sideburns, then we're back to vintage Cap.
He does look a bit older.
He does look a bit older. Yeah.
He does look like there's a bit of white going in his hair.
Yeah.
Or it might just be like really light blonde.
Yeah,
but maybe he's a bit older.
Maybe there is a time jump. Enough of a time jump for Black Widow to grow her hair.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, she grows her hair. Wonder if Thor's going to grow his hair back.
Well, they don't really get haircuts in Asgard, do they? Because everyone seems to have long hair.
They do, yeah. What else? There was no Hulk. Was there Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, he was in it. He was looking at the screens of people that have disappeared.
Oh, that's right.
And Ant-Man was one of them.
Yeah, and Shuri
was one of them, yeah. But maybe she's just gone into hiding or something.
Yeah, where do you reckon she is?
Wakanda? It's not really much of a hiding.
They didn't really look that hard. They're like, oh, where the fuck's Shuri? She's like in the throne room. So, oh, where's Shuri, guys? She's missing. The snap must have got her.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, let's leave Wakanda. Also, the snap's now called the Decimation, apparently.
By who?
It's in the Avengers Endgame prequel comic.
Oh, okay.
Prequel book, sorry. Prequel book.
The Decimation. Oh, is that the Thanos one?
Yeah, the Thanos one.
Yeah.
Decimation.
Apparently that's not fully canon, though.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't give away anything, but it's not it is canon.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Thanos is farming. What do you think he's farming?
Corn?
Corn? Yeah. high nutritional value.
Yeah. You can use it to create bioethanol as well. The yield's not that great, but it's all right.
Do you think he just does corn or any other vegetables?
What do you think his diet is? Is he a vegetarian?
He looks like he bulks, so I'm probably thinking he's eating some sort of meat. Just because you can't get that big without eating meat of some sort.
No, maybe he's like perfected the art of using soy-based materials to make mock meat.
Yeah, true. It does look like he's having some problems with the farming, though. There's some crows around, maybe. That's why he's set up a scarecrow. I'm hoping most of the movie concentrates on the farming life of Thanos and
the agricultural industry of whatever planet he's on.
Yeah. Do you reckon he goes out and sells stuff, or he's happy to just eat his own stock?
Well, who does he sell stuff to? I don't think anyone lives on that planet.
Is there anyone else on the planet? Maybe he's killed everyone else on the planet. Yeah. Initially there was, but then he's like, I hate these guys. Let's kill them.
I've got the gauntlet. I can do whatever I want.
The gauntlet's still damaged, so that's going to make it harder for him to farm.
I guess so.
Hopefully most of it's concentrating on that. I would be quite disappointed if it's not, actually.
Farming life of Thanos.
Thanos.
That's what it should have been called.
Avengers Farm. Avengers Farm Simulator 2018.
But yeah, I think that's it really for this. So next episode, well, we've got a couple of episodes coming up. So we'll have one on Bumblebee, one on Aquaman probably after that, one on probably Wreck-It Ralph. We'll see if we can get an advanced screening for that. And then we'll have the wrap up for the year as well, because we're fast approaching the end of the year. If you want to get in touch with us to ask us a question or give us a suggestion, how do people do that?
So Twitter, Instagram, the other one, and
Facebook. Email.
Yeah, the other one is Facebook. That's the slang term that they use for it on the streets. So cognitive recalibration podcast at gmail.com, at crecalibration on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
If you do like our content, please give us a subscribe on your favorite podcasting interface. So we're on all of them now. Did want to say, we're not on SoundCloud. I don't know how many people use SoundCloud for podcasts, but we're on pretty much everything else. So please do.
Yeah, we don't like SoundCloud.
Well, you got to pay for it. So
how dare they? Yeah,
you got to pay to be
money
on
for a business.
So we're not on SoundCloud, but yeah, please do give us a subscribe on your favorite interface, and do give us a review if you have the time.
Yeah,
a good one, preferably.
Would prefer a shit one, but you do what you have to.
Yeah, well, you can just say Shravan is a great host, but I don't know why he brings the other guy with him every week.
Yeah, look, I don't know either. Actually, I'm with you guys.
Yeah. So, anything else?
No. I think that's about it.
That is about it. So we'll see you in the next episode of Cognitive Recalibration.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not on meds in the next episode.
Hopefully I don't have a croaky voice in the next episode.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you then. Okay. See you later.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.